Good morning. Florida always consistently a battleground state.
Big crowd. Whoa. Thank you. This is beautiful. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. What an honor. We love Denver. Do we all love Denver? Yes. Yes. Thank you very much. So we've had an interesting period of time. We had a little bit of a good evening last night watching, right? What? No? So the numbers just came out for the Big Thursday. They call it Big Thursday, where I spoke last week and Hillary, sometimes referred to as Crooked Hillary, spoke last night. She's crooked. And we had, I think it was 35 million, and they had less, like 33 or something. In other words, we had more. And I've sort of been saying that, and I have to tell you, both numbers are great numbers. Don't forget, on the debate, it was 24 million, and that was a record. So when you have 35 million people watching your convention, those are big, big numbers. But the Republican convention outdrew the Democratic convention on the Big Thursday night. Good, right? That's good. That's always good. Always good. Okay. So we have to go over some numbers because Hillary was talking last night about how wonderful everything is. She didn't talk about all of the unbelievable long-term unemployment. She didn't talk about the fact that house ownership is the lowest it's been in 51 years. Amazing. That's a heck of a number. Who ever heard of that? Who heard of that? She didn't talk about the fact that we had more police shootings over the last year than, I mean, nobody's ever seen anything like what's going on. Much over 50%. Over 50% from the previous year. You know, she makes it sound like everything's rosy-dory. It's not rosy-dory, folks. People are pouring across the border. We have no idea who they are. People are coming in from Syria. And you see what's happening with Nice and the beloved priest, 85-year-old priest. He has his throat slit and dies. And you know what? Our country has enough problems. We don't need more problems, and that's going to be more problems. Now, you know, should we read the snake? Should we? Does anybody know the snake? Should we do it? Okay, who has heard it before? Because everybody says, would you do it? Who's heard the snake? Who's heard it? Let me put it differently. Who hasn't heard it? A lot of people. Okay, before we do that, we will do it. But I have to tell you, so last night was sort of unbelievable. I went home, and I thought that Hillary wasn't going to mention Trump because I thought it would be a class thing to do. She mentioned me 22 times. 22 times. The truth is, it was a little bit on the boring side, wouldn't you say, as a speech? It's like taking Sominex. So not a lot of people. I don't think it registered. We're going to see. You know, with the Republican convention, I got a very big bounce, one of the biggest bounces in many years, right? We'll have to see. We'll have to see. We'll have to see if she gets a good bounce. if she doesn't. But the speech was really lies. You know, one of the things she talked about was the rough and tumble campaign. She talked about me. You know what this is? This is a speechwriter writing a speech, and she read it, and that's what it is. And I hate to say this, Politico wrote something which was interesting. Politico, they kill me all the time, very unfair. But they wrote something, they didn't give her high marks, and they said it was cliche after cliche. And one of the things they said, a tough and tumble campaign, like a tough and tumble campaign. Now, we have created a movement, and the movement, it's true. Nobody's seen, look, I mean, look at this place. Look at this. Nobody's seen anything like this. What is that behind me? That's pretty tough looking. That's pretty tough looking. But we've created a movement. And everybody said this is one of the great campaigns they've ever seen. I mean, look, you were the forgotten man and woman. I was a guy that never did this before. I've had great success. I've enjoyed my life. I have a wonderful family. By the way, did my family do a good job? Right? You know, they were talking about the star power. I saw the star power, big star power. We know about star power. They were talking about the star power that they had at the Democrat convention, right? It's actually, you know, it should be Democrat convention. It sounds better when you say Democratic, but we maybe shouldn't make it sound better, so we should call it the Democrat. But they were talking about the star power. Let me tell you, I think my kids have more star power. I really do. I think they do than anybody I see. They had a general named John Allen, and I never met him, and he got up and he started talking about Trump, Trump, Trump. Never met him. And you know who he is? He's a failed general. He was the general fighting ISIS. I would say he hasn't done so well, right? Not so well. And they had other people. What difference does it make? But I will say this, look, we have, I mean, that was hit after hit after hit. Oh, and I said, you know, on one of them I said, I'm going to hit them back so hard, right? I'm going to hit them back so hard. And I'll do it verbally, I'll do it on television, I'll do it on Twitter. Now we have between Facebook and Twitter and a couple of other 22 million people. Can you believe it? That's a force. That's a force, 22 million. And the last day, I think we picked up 100,000, so we have a force. But I said, we're going to hit them back so hard. And CNN put on, Trump is going to hit them. I mean, I'm going to hit him with this, with the lips. I'm going to hit him verbally. They put out a thing, Trump hitting. You never saw people. These people are so dishonest. They're so dishonest, but I'm going to hit them hard. So a friend of mine calls me up, and he's a governor. He's a great governor, highly respected. I said, you know, we had guys and people that said really bad things about me. And he said, Donald, don't do anything. You got the nomination. You're going to beat Hillary Clinton. Focus on Hillary Clinton. No, but I said, but you know, I really want to hit them. I don't mean this, I mean this, right? I really want to hit them. We're going to do a verbal lashing on them. And he said, don't do it, don't do it, don't do it. So maybe I'll do it just a little bit, right? Right? I'll do it just a little. But we just left 2 other parts of Colorado, which is a great state. I'm here a lot anyway, even without this stuff. I have so many friends here. And we have to win this state on November 8th. We have to. We have to. And I'm going to be here a lot. In fact, I'm going to be here so much that you people are going to say, please, okay, we'll vote for you. Don't come back anymore. Right? We'll have some fun. But I enjoyed watching it last night. Somebody said, how was Hillary? How did she do? Average. I mean, not bad. Not bad, not good. A lot of shouting. He says she's stuck. Not the most exciting speech you've ever. He said not the most exciting. Whose speech was better, mine or hers? Well, they say that. But you know what they say about mine? The haters, the ones that don't want me to, do well. The haters, these people. See the dishonest people back there? The world's most dishonest. They are the world's most dishonest people. Look, show them the crowd over there, Cameron. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. Show them the crowd. And this is my third one today. You think this is fun? Do you think so? But actually, I'll have to be honest with you. I'm actually having a great time. We have great people in this country. We have unbelievable people, and we are going to make America great again. I got a kick last night. Go ahead. USA. Do you hear that sound? How it sounds like you're watching a big football game, right? Denver. Good team. Good defense. Good defense. And you know what? John Elway is a great guy. I played golf with him a long time ago. He is long. He's strong. He's a long hitter. But he's a good guy. He's done a great job. Great defense. I think you're going to do great, right? But my wife will always say, darling, did you have a big crowd tonight? And she said, because they never show the crowd, but boy, it sounds it. You can't imitate that noise with 100 people. Other people. Good. Amazing. You can't imitate that. That's called the real deal. No matter where we go, we have crowds. The crowds are only restrained by the size of the buildings. And sometimes, now we're using an air museum. Good place, I guess, right? Good. But it's only restrained by that. So when I heard some of the statistics last night, and I enjoyed some. I thought Chelsea did a nice job. Chelsea likes Ivanka, and Ivanka likes Chelsea. I wish they didn't like each other, but they do. It's easier if they don't like each other. You would think that relationship would be strained, but they like each other. And I thought Chelsea did a nice job last night, okay? I really did. Okay, but listen. But Hillary, now that's another subject. And Hillary said all sorts of wonderful things, like we're doing great. So here are numbers that came out today. All right, this came out just a little while ago. Today we got new growth numbers. 1.2% for the second quarter growth. Wait. This is the weakest recovery in modern history. Oh, did she say that last night? I don't think so. Yesterday, I said this before, the rate of home ownership, people that own their homes, is the lowest level it's been in 51 years. Did Hillary say that last night? No, I don't think so. Under President Obama, oh, I like that better. Keep the lights off. It just went down 20 degrees. Wow. And the audience is even bigger now. I can see the audience. Oh, I like that. I miss my protesters. I miss my protesters. You know, my protesters, they were really Bernie protesters. They were really Bernie protesters. Thank you. Oh, look at that. Look at that. It's the remnant of a Bernie protester. It's the final remnant. That's okay. So, did you see Bernie last night, how angry he was? I don't like to see that. It's bad for your health. He was so angry. They were talking about him, and he was scowling. And his wife put her hand on his shoulder, and he didn't move, and she took it off because she could see. You know why? He sold his soul to the devil. That's right. He sold his soul to the devil. He shouldn't have made that deal. And as soon as she picked this vice president, Tim Kaine, you know what his first move was in Virginia? To raise taxes by $4 billion in the first week. And unemployment almost doubled in Virginia while he was governor. And he's not popular in Virginia now. And we're going to win Virginia because I think we're going to win Virginia. I have a lot of property in Virginia. I have a lot of property, a lot of employees. I pay them a lot of money. We're going to win in Virginia. But I figured you'd pick somebody that was popular. They don't like him in Virginia. But he raised taxes by $4 billion in the first week when he was governor. And unemployment doubled. I don't think that's a perfect candidate, okay? I don't think so. I like our candidate, right? Governor Mike Pence. Indiana's done so well. We like Mike. We do. We do. Mike is a great guy. Okay, so the rate of home ownership is the lowest it's been in 51 years. President Obama, during his term, has doubled our national debt. We're going to very soon be up to $20 trillion. The U.S. trade deficit, these are things that, to the best of my recollection, you have a very good memory. People know me for my memory. Or I couldn't do this without teleprompters, right? Hillary, teleprompters. You know, she's got 10 people in the room. She's got a teleprompter. Oh, boy. So listen to this. Listen to this. The U.S. trade deficit in goods reached nearly $800 billion last year. $800 billion. We have a trade deficit of nearly $800 billion. I don't think so. Did Hillary mention that last night when she said how well? Did Hillary mention about all of the police, and we love our police and we love our law enforcement? Did Hillary mention about all of the police that have been shot? I don't think so. Did Hillary, you know, did you see the first night there was no American flag, right? The second night there was no American flag. And then I sort of put out the word, there's no American flag. So they ran up with a flag. They ran up. They don't really want the flag, but they ran up. The next night they had a few flags, and then the final night, you know, they overdid it. They had so many flags you couldn't walk on the stage. They overdid it. But that's like the police. They didn't mention the police. They mentioned everybody but the police. And then people started writing stories. They didn't mention the police, and they mentioned the final night. Okay, long-term unemployment is the worst it's been since the 1940s. Did Hillary mention that last night? Unbelievable numbers. 28.2. Think of this one. Oh, wow. It's too depressing. Should I read it? Yeah, why not? 23.8 million Americans in their prime earning years are now out of the labor force. Not good. Another 14 million Americans left the labor force. Nearly 4 in 10 African American children are living in poverty, while 58%, think of this, 58% of African American youth are not employed. 58%. Obama's done a great job, hasn't he? Think of this. Median household income has fallen by more than $4,000. $4,000. We have people standing in this room who made more money in real wages 18 years ago than they're making today. They didn't work as hard. They were a hell of a lot younger. It should be the other way around. And we lost our jobs, we lost our companies, and we're not going to let it happen anymore. We're going to get our jobs back. We're going to bring our companies back. We're not going to let companies leave us anymore, not without repercussions. It's terrible. I mean, it's terrible. Look, these are all statistics. I could go on and on. Look, there's 5 pages. I don't want to depress you. You all can. Don't forget, they said that Donald Trump's speech, I thought I delivered it well. They were but what they did, no, they said he was great. But what they did is they said it was dark. See, that was the way. They said it was dark, but actually it wasn't dark. It was optimistic because I talk about the problems and we're going to fix the problems. Like, as an example, radical Islamic terrorism is a problem. Big problem. That's a big problem. Radical Islamic terrorism. Hillary didn't discuss that too much, right? So we're bringing in thousands of people from Syria. We don't know who they are. We don't know where they come from. There's no paperwork. There's no way of really vetting them. And they're being placed here and all over the country, and mostly the officials don't even know where they're placing them because it's supposed to be a big, beautiful secret. It's not a big, beautiful secret, and Hillary Clinton has stated very strongly, now she'll change, just like now she wants to try and renegotiate trade deals after she heard, I want to renegotiate our trade deals. Now all of a sudden, after 30 years, she wants to renegotiate trade deals, all right? Her husband signed NAFTA, the worst trade deal in the history of the world, not just this country. So Hillary Clinton wants to increase Syrian migrants coming into our country that we don't know who they are by 550%. No way. No way. But you know, I do laugh because she's on a new kick. And the new kick is, you know, I call her bad judgment. She's bad judgment. Everything she touches is not good. You look at Libya, you look at the migration, you look at Syria, you look at the Iran deal, which she started. You look at look at Benghazi, what happened there. Remember the 3 o'clock in the morning commercial, remember? Who do you want at that phone at 3 o'clock in the morning? I don't want her at that phone. Then she lied like a dog on her emails. She lied like a dog on the emails. She showed great negligence, and the real word is negligence in what happened. She put us all at risk. She put us all at risk. Here's a Secretary of State with a server that she's not supposed to have. Tough. So, I'll tell you what I'd rather do, honestly. I'd rather just November 8th beat her at the polls. Just beat her at the polls. We got to beat her. She would be a disaster. Remember this. Justices of the United States Supreme Court. Whoever the next president is, you're going to have at least 2, probably 3, could even be 4, and might be 5. It may be the all-time record in the history of the presidency, appointments to the United States Supreme Court. If she gets her appointments, we're going to be Venezuela. We're going to be Venezuela. So we can't do that. One thing I have to say. So I was telling you about Bernie Sanders. So we have the all-time story. They say that it's one of the great stories in the history of politics. What's happened? Because what's happened here is great, but the same thing is happening no matter where we go. It's we. I'm the messenger. No matter where. And you know, I'm the messenger of being smart, of common sense, of not being ripped off by every country in the world. We're the messenger. Of having strong borders. Would anybody like to see the wall get built? Yeah. Hundred percent. 100%. 100% it gets built. You know, these politicians come up to me and they go, Donald, I don't understand. You can't build a wall, really, can you? You know, we build 95-story buildings. You can't build a wall, really, can you? You see that ceiling up there? That's pretty high ceiling. It pretty much, we don't have to go much higher than that. That's up there, right? That's, usually I'm looking at a ceiling that's 12 feet. We're going a lot taller than 12. That's up there. That looks like it would be a good solid wall. Anybody that gets up isn't coming down so easily, right? Now, we're going to build a wall, but these politicians come up to me and they say, you really can't build a wall. You're just kidding, aren't you? I say, I don't kid, let me tell you. We're going to build a wall. And then I explained to them that 2,000 years ago, the Great Wall of China was built, and it's 13,000 miles long. We need 1,000 miles, and we have Caterpillar tractors, right? How easy is this? We have a lot of natural borders. We have a lot of natural stuff. We're going to need about 1,000 miles. And let me tell you, that's going to go up so fast, your head will spin. Your head will spin. And you know, I was endorsed by the Border Patrol agents. First time in the history, 16,500 Border Patrol agents. I was endorsed by the great Sheriff Joe Arpaio, the great guy. Nobody knows better than Sheriff Joe. Nobody knows better than Sheriff Joe, and he endorsed me. We have tremendous endorsements. But I'll tell you, look, I said to the top people when they called and they said, Mr. Trump, we're endorsing you. I said, that's good. How many people? 16,500. Mr. Trump, they're not doing the job. They're not letting us do our job. I said, how important is the wall? They said, Mr. Trump, the wall is vital. It's a great tool. It'll end up being our best tool for protection. We have to stop the drugs from coming in. We have to stop illegals from pouring across our border. So, well, you know, let me tell you, one of the interesting things. So the president of Mexico was being interviewed, and he said, and he was the past president, and he said, there's no way they're going to build, and then you know what happened? He used the F-bomb. I couldn't believe it. On live television, on that station right there, he used the F-bomb. No. He used the F-bomb. And I said, I can't believe it. Oh, is he in trouble? Can you imagine if I used the F-bomb? It would be over. It would be over. So he used the F-bomb. He said, that wall will never, F-bomb, get built. And I said, that's great news, because before they were going like so many different levels. Now he's saying it's not going to get paid for by them. Here's what's going to happen. We're going to build the wall. Mexico is going to pay for the wall 100%, 100%. We're going to stop the drugs from pouring into our country and poisoning our youth. We're going to stop people that aren't supposed to be here from coming into our country. That is going to happen. So, people like this, and I've done it a few times, people like it, and this was actually a song written by Al Wilson quite a while ago, and I heard this, and I said, this really pertains to what we talk about when we talk about illegal immigration. And I said, you know, let me do this. And I read it a couple of times, and people love it. Should I do it? So it's called The Snake. So remember, this pertains to people coming across our border. This pertains to people coming in from Syria that we have no idea who they are. Remember, they cut the heads off people. They drown people in steel cages by the thousands. They're drowning people 25 at a time in steel cages. They're cutting off heads. This is like medieval times. And then they say to me during one of the debates, they talk about waterboarding. I say, I'm okay with it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? You know, waterboarding sort of became famous. You know why? Because they felt it was just short of torture. You know that, right? It wasn't real. I'm not saying it's pleasant. But believe me, it works. How about these guys that say it all doesn't work, okay? It works. So they asked during one of the debates, they asked Ted Cruz, he was standing right alongside of me, what do you think? And he was very uncomfortable with the question. Then they went, by the way, was that a display of love? Speaking of Ted Cruz, when they booed him off that stage, no, seriously, when they booed him off that stage, the entire Texas delegation booed him off that stage. Let me tell you, say what you want. They didn't cover it that way because they're so dishonest. But that's when you knew the party was united. This party is united. Right? Right? This party is really is. Other than a few guys who, you know, let's face it, it was the toughest, they say, primary ever fought. Number one, we had 17 people. 17. And number two, we had Trump. And Trump, we have to win. We have to win. Remember? Remember when I came in and these pundits, one of them sitting back there now, these pundits said, he will never run. He will never run. Then I ran. He said, whoa. Then I said, but he will never do good and he's just doing it for fun. He's just having a good time. I mean, it's 120 degrees under those crazy lights. It's late. It's Friday. You know what time I get home tonight? 4 o'clock in the morning. It's fun. But it is fun because we're going to do something that has never really been done before in this country. When Bill O'Reilly, he's a smart guy, tough guy, and others say it was the single greatest political phenomena that he's witnessed in his lifetime, he's seen a lot. That's what's happened. That's what's happened. So remember, and we started off at 6%, and these pundits that get paid a lot of money, and they're usually wrong, but they said, he got 6%. They don't realize I only had 2 days of the week. I started late. Everybody else was in. And they said, got 6%. Well, that will be his ceiling, 6%. 6% will be his ceiling, and that's okay. You know, they speak with such surety. So Donald Trump gets 6% the first week. Next week, I get 12%. He got 12%, a little higher than I thought, but That will be his ceiling. He will not go higher than that. Next week, I get 18%. Then I get 22%. Then I get 25%, 27%, 30%, 32%, 36%. Then I get 38%. And every single time, they say that will be his ceiling. But now when I'm hitting 30s and everyone else is low, really low, like, 2%, 1%, 0%. How about the zeros? You had some zeros. That means out of millions and millions of people, nobody voted for him. Nobody. Go home. Get out. Okay, go. And they were among the nastiest of people. Can you believe it? They were the nastiest ones, the ones that had zero. Anyway, so I hit 38%, and then I hit 42, and I'll never forget, one of the people, I hit 42%, and there were like 10 people left. 10 people. And they said, he hit 42%, but he cannot break 50. How many times? He cannot break 50%. He cannot break 50%. I got 10 people. Senators, governors. I mean, Ben Carson, who, by the way, is a great guy. He endorsed me. We love Ben. Smart. Smart guy. Good guy. Ben Carson. So I get 42%. And I have these idiots saying, he may have 42%, but he doesn't have 50. But we have 10 people left. So here's the story. We then get more and more and more, and we do a number. And I'll tell you what, it's a great, great feeling. But a lot of feelings were hurt. Because people say it was the nastiest, the meanest, the hardest primary ever fought in the history of our country that they know of. I mean, might have been tougher before television, but how could it be? Because when you can say something on television, you reach everybody at one time. There's something awfully nice. You call somebody a certain name, and everybody hears it at one time. So look, so some of these people haven't recovered, but slowly but surely. Marco Rubio, he endorsed me last week. Strong endorsement. And he's a good guy. And he's running in Florida for the Senate. He's running, and he's going to win. And I'm going to win in Florida. But I got to win here. I got to win here. So now I start off here. I get here. And they're all sort of like saying, but Trump never did this before. And then one of the people that was running has been out of office for a while. And they said, but he hasn't been in office for 8 years. And they don't say it about Trump. I've never been in office. So they gave him a pass. They don't give me a pass. But we end up getting this. Now we're down to the final stroke. So I get a call from a big reporter, very big, the biggest. Happens to be a slight liberal tint, but that's okay. And he said, how does it feel? Because what you've done, because we have crowds like this every night, 3 times a day, what you've done has never been done before. And I say, no, I disagree with that. I think unless I win. He says, no. It doesn't matter whether you win or lose. You will be in the history books for what you've done. And I said, let me stop you right there. If I don't win, meaning if I don't beat crooked Hillary Clinton, she is as crooked as a $3 bill. If I don't beat crooked Hillary Clinton, I will consider this a tremendous waste of time, energy, and money. Believe me, I'm not looking to be in history books. Unless it's at the top where we do something great, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make our country great again, but we're going to make America safe again. Safe again. So I found this, and it's not a lot of people know it, but I think it's terrific. And remember, this has to do really with Syrians coming across. And just so you understand, I have a big heart. I want to build safe zones in Syria for the Syrians. I want to get the Gulf states to pay for it because they're not doing anything right now. And without us, they wouldn't be there for 2 minutes. And they have nothing but money, nothing but money. We owe $20 trillion. We don't need, I'll put my developer hat on. We're going to use other people's money, right? And we're going to build safe zones. And those safe zones are going to be funded by other countries nearby that have lots and lots of money, and we'll supervise it. But think of this. So this is people coming in. We don't know who they are, but we do know there's going to be trouble. It's only a question of when. On her way to work one morning, down the path along the lake, a tender-hearted woman saw a half-frozen, really beautiful snake. "Oh, well," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you." Now, you have to understand, folks, this is a snake that's in bad shape. And you have this really nice woman. And she goes, a tender-hearted woman saw a half-frozen snake. His pretty colored skin had been all frosted with the dew. "Oh, well," she cried, "I'll take you in, and I'll take care of you." "Take me in, oh tender woman, take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the broken snake. She wrapped him up all cozy in a curvature of silk, then laid him by the fireside with some honey and some milk. Now she hurried home from work that night. As soon as she arrived, she found that pretty snake she'd taken in had been revived. "Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the broken snake. Now she clutched him to her bosom. "You're so beautiful," she cried. "But if I hadn't brought you in by now, you certainly might have died." Now she stroked his pretty skin, and then she kissed and held him tight. But instead of saying thank you, that snake gave her a vicious bite. "Take me in, oh tender woman. Take me in for heaven's sake. Take me in, oh tender woman," sighed the vicious snake. "I saved you," cried that woman, "and you've bit me heavens why. You know your bite is poisonous, and now I'm going to die." "Oh, shut up, silly woman," said the reptile with a grin. "You knew damn well I was a snake before you took me in." That's where we are. That's where we are, right? That's where we are. You watch. You watch. So we don't want to be the stupid country anymore. We want to be the smart country. We're going to make great trade deals. I read the numbers with trade, $800 billion in trade deficits last year. With China alone, the greatest abuser of them all, and I don't hold it against China. China's great. I love China. I do business with China. I have the largest bank in the world as a tenant in one of my buildings in Manhattan. It's a Chinese bank. It's the biggest in the world. We sell condos. The Bank of America building in San Francisco is mine with a partner. 1290 Avenue of the Americas, one of the biggest buildings in Manhattan, is mine with a partner. All comes through China. We can do great with China, but we have stupid people representing us. Stupid, stupid people. So, here's what's going to happen. We are going to build and bring our best. Look, we have the greatest business people in the world, better than any place else. We don't use them. We use political hacks. Some of these business people are not nice people. Who cares? You care? I don't think so. Some of these people are vicious, horrible, miserable human beings. Who cares? Who cares? Some of these people, they don't sleep at night. They twist and turn and sweat and their mattress is soaking wet because they're thinking all night about victory the next day against some poor person that doesn't have a chance. And these people, unfortunately, I know them all, these people would love to represent us against China, against Japan, against all of these countries, Mexico, where they're killing us at the border and they're killing us in trade. We have a massive trade deficit with Mexico, not including the drugs that go back and forth by the billions. That's not including the drugs. We have the greatest business people in the world. They would do it for nothing. They still love this country. They feel crazy. They feel so angry. They can't believe the deals that are made. We can do things that have never been done before. We'll stay open trade. You know, one of the reporters asked me a couple of weeks ago, Mr. Trump, do you believe in free trade? I said, yep, I believe in free trade. I believe in fair trade. I believe in 10 other forms of trade. But the bottom line, if you really know, my deal is that I just don't want labels. I want to make great deals with individual countries for our country so that we create jobs and we take in money. Basically, I want great deals. That's what I want. And that's what we'll have. So, free trade, interesting. Free trade is wonderful, but to have free trade, we need smart people on our side. We don't use our smart people. Or we use people that are totally controlled by lobbyists and special interests, like Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton is bought and paid for by Wall Street. Now, I put up almost $60 million for the primaries, which sounds like a lot of money, but believe me, others spent $200 million and they lost. What would you rather do? Would you rather be on the side of the person who spent the least money and won, or the most money and lost? Who do you want as your president, okay? I mean, we had people that spent much more money than me, and they came in 7th place. I spent relatively little money. I put it up myself and came in 1st place. But not only 1st place, 14 million people is the highest vote total in the history of the Republican Party, right? It's you. And I won massive amounts of states, so we ran the table, it was a beautiful thing. But look, we want to have free trade. And our companies want a deal. But you know that China sends all their stuff in. We can't send our stuff to China. We can't free trade. And the currency manipulation is unacceptable. And then on top of everything else, in the South China Sea, they're building a massive military fortress that they're not supposed to be building because they have absolutely no respect for us. So all of that's going to change. So here's the story. Here's the story. You ready? We don't win anymore as a country. We used to win. You know, when I was in school, like in high school, they say we never lost a war. Our country never lost a war. We never lost at anything. Now we only lose. We go and we fight these wars like Iraq. We should have never gone in. I was against it from the beginning. I said you'll destabilize the Middle East. But I was a business guy. Nobody cared. But it was just common sense. You had Iran and Iraq always fighting, nobody moving because they were the same power. Then we decimated one power. Now Iran will take over Iraq. They've already essentially taken over Iraq. And we made it possible for them. They walk in. Okay, so here's the story. We don't win anymore, but we're going to start winning again. Our military is depleted. We're going to build it up. It's going to be a thing of beauty. We're going to get other countries, and we're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. Believe me, we have no choice. We, as part of our military, are going to take great care of our wonderful veterans. They're being treated terribly. We're going to start winning with trade. We're going to make great trade deals. We're not going to let Carrier Air Conditioner and Ford and all of these other companies, we're not going to let them go to Mexico and other countries, fire all their people, make their product, then send it back into our country and sell it to us. We get unemployment and no taxes. No. When they make their product and they want to leave and they want to fire our great people, they can go, and I'll wish them luck, but when they send their product back into our country, they're going to pay a tax on that product, and a substantial tax, and they'll never, ever leave in the first place. They're never going to leave in the first place, okay? They're never going to leave in the first place. All right. So, we're going to make great trade deals. We're going to save our Second Amendment, which is totally under siege. Okay? Totally under siege. We're going to repeal and replace Obamacare. So much less expensive, so much better. We are going to terminate the horrible Common Core, and you're going to educate your children locally. We're going to have powerful, beautiful, strong borders, and people are going to come into our country, but they're going to come into our country legally, legally, legally. And we are going to start winning again. We're going to win so much that you're going to get sick and tired of winning. We're going to make the Denver Broncos look like a team that doesn't even do so well by our winning percentage, okay? We're going to win with trade. We're going to win at the border. We're going to win with the Second Amendment. We're going to win with education. We're going to win with our military. We're going to win for our vets. We're going to win for our vets. And all of my friends in Denver and all of my friends in Colorado, you're going to come and you're going to say, Mr. President, we'd like to meet with you in the White House. Because, Mr. President, you're winning too much. It's no good, Mr. President. We're not used to it in our country. We never won, and now you're winning too much. Mr. President, sir, please don't win so much. And I'm going to say, I'm sorry. We're going to keep winning. We're going to win, win, win. We're going to win so much, and maybe you're not going to like it, but we're going to make America great again. We're going to make America greater than ever before. We're going to make America safer, safer, safer than ever before. Thank you very much. I love you. Thank you. Go out and vote. Go out and vote. November 8th. Go out and vote. Thank you.